AITA for not letting my husband help another pregnant woman? On throwaway and on mobile because laptop is charging. I 24 am currently 34 weeks pregnant with my first. I have been hospitalized because I got gestational diabetes. I shared a room with another woman, Gina, who also has gestational diabetes. We started talking after visitor hours were over and I found out she is going to be a solo parent. I felt sorry for Gina, because no one came up to visit her and it does get lonely in here, especially at night. So every time someone came to visit me, I made a point to introduce GINW and include her in any conversation I would have with my visitors and share food with her. Because let's face it, hospital food is terrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So to the main part of the situation. My husband always visits me after work and I did introduce them. He sometimes takes me out to eat on the weekends. I asked if it was okay with him, if I could invite Gina, and he said he didn't mind. It was then I noticed Gina started asking him to do simple things like help her put her coat on and helping her tie her shoes and asking him to help her off her bed or get up out of a chair. She had no problem doing these things by herself before. Then when I had a sore back, my husband gave me a massage. Gina also asked him for a massage, but he declined. She went quiet and ignored us for the rest of the visit after when he left. I apologized to her but said it was inappropriate that she asked that from him. Gina started crying and saying she's sore too and why can't she have a massage and it's not fair. I said you made my husband very uncomfortable and to please not do that again. Gina just flared up and started calling me nasty names and screaming. I was insecure and the nurses came in and they had to calm her down. I absolutely refused to go back into the same room as her that night and I was put in another room. Next morning my husband came and I told him what happened. I told him not to help Gina anymore. He was shocked at her behavior and agreed. He took me out for a walk and on our way down we saw Gina and she asked my husband for help to get up and he politely declined and we walked away. When we came back to my ward, I went to get me a drink and saw Gina by herself in the corner crying. Now I'm feeling bad and wondering if AITA? Something's weird about this. I have gestational diabetes right now. People don't get hospitalized for gestational diabetes. And if some complication happens related to gestational diabetes that is so bad that it requires long-term hospitalization, you definitely cannot share food with other diabetic patients or go out to eat with your husband on the weekends. You would be on such a strict diet in the hospital. NTAI had a C-section. My son was moved to another hospital's NICU and my roommate and her husband offered to help me as my husband was staying with Babe. I took him up on that offer exactly once I needed my Stanley filled. I never ever would have asked her husband to wash my pump even though he was washing hers. Or to even help me out of bed. Everyone needs boundaries and she should have realized what they were without even saying anything. Honestly. It was very nice of you to go out of your way to make sure that Gina wasn't alone. And it's unfortunate that she became that mouse that was given a cookie and asked for more. NTA. You gave her inches and she decided to take miles. And she decided to double down and get offended when told she crossed a boundary. Normal people would get the hint and apologize. But she believes she has a right to demand things of your spouse. And that's not okay. NTA, I think she crossed your boundaries and reacted poorly when you asked her to refrain from asking him for a massage. I understand it might be lonely and difficult to be a single expecting mom. But what she did was inappropriate. I do feel for her. But you're not wrong for how you dealt with this. NTA. You set a reasonable boundary. I'm sorry she's alone and sad. And probably scared. But you aren't responsible for any of that. Look after yourself. NTA. She was inappropriate and you responded in a way that protected yourself and your marriage. She has only herself to blame. I feel for her situation. But she was hitting on your husband. NTA. What Gina asked was inappropriate and so was her response. She has some issues beyond being alone while pregnant. You chose your best bet and that was to go and see with her. You are not her medical team nor her therapists or support system. You were nice and she wanted more. No bueno. AITA, you were right to stop him helping her because clearly she is going through something and isn't being rational. Your husband gets to say no. The fact she wanted to disregard him being uncomfortable means that the relationship is not okay. And he shouldn't continue to help. It would do more damage for her in the long run because it sounds like she got her wires crossed. Maybe she started fantasizing that you were all in this together or that he was her partner. Once he said no and once you explained he was uncomfortable, she should have dropped it. NTA. Grabbing a snack is one thing. Asking the spouse of another patient to treat you the same as their wife? Not in the least appropriate. I pity the woman who has to watch a healthy relationship knowing she doesn't have that support. But no way in hell does mean she can ask or expect something that intimate. Whenever people suddenly started screaming in these stories, I raise an eyebrow at their truthfulness, to be honest. NTA. Inviting her into your life would be a terrible mistake. She's a user. NTA. Gina was inappropriate and probably simply jealous you had someone helping you. You can feel sorry for her, but you've already helped her a bunch. She just started taking advantage of your kindness. NTA. She's stomping all over boundaries. She should ask the staff, not your husband. Not your fault she doesn't have a man. Don't let her near yours. NTA. This is wildly inappropriate, potentially manipulative behavior. Do not feel bad for her. I pity the child she's carrying. AITA. Once you leave the hospital, leave her. I understand you felt sorry for her. I would have done the same, but you don't know her backstory and why no one is visiting. She could have bad luck or it could be more. NTA. Not having husband touch other women is standard husband behavior. AITA. She overstepped and took it too far on that. It's sad that she really has no one and you included her when you didn't have to, and she took advantage of the situation. Plus hormones too. Pregnant PPL. I've been pregnant and I'm surprised they had you share a room. I didn't know hospitals still did that. But I'm glad they moved you. Hope you have a safe and awesome pregnancy, birth. I had gestational diabetes. I have a healthy 3-year-old baby boy. As a nurse, this sounds fake as hell. No way you have day trips out with GD and still come back to your cozy assigned room. I've had patients 8/10 dilated and they were told to come back when their water broke because they had no room. You can also leave whenever you want. It's not prison. Everything about this sounds weird and sketchy. Sounds more like a hotel than a hospital. Lol. That's what happens sometimes. You do nice things for someone and then they go full on nuts. Forget about her.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.